Part 1 and Part 2 are in the description. How's it going, folks? My name's Andy, and today I think it's about time for another one of these videos. This is the third video of this series, so if you haven't seen the others, check them out, as I've already talked about many other players. Basically, in these kind of videos, I take a look at some NBA players who were once quite good or very good, but then in a very short time period, they vanished out of nowhere. Their games dropped off the face of the earth, and now nobody really talks about them anymore. Anyway, let's take a look at why these guys fell off and how they're doing now. Without further ado, let's begin. Recently, I've been working with my personal trainer, Sarah, and I was able to connect with her thanks to the sponsor of this video, Future. So, what is Future? It's a fitness app that pairs you with your own personal trainer who will build you a custom workout you can complete on your own time wherever you want. When you download the app, you'll answer a bunch of questions to find the most qualified trainer for you. Whether it's losing weight, building muscle, or just living a healthier life, they'll make a plan for you. For example, even if you don't have equipment or a gym to go to, your trainer will take that into account and make a plan based around bodyweight exercises at home. You and your trainer will also keep in contact through the app, via video calls or messages, so you'll feel like they're always by your side. Future's trainers have trained everybody, from professional athletes to regular working professionals. So regardless of your level, they'll help you reach your fitness goals. If you want to hop in, then I have a special offer for you. If you use my link, you'll get your first month with a Future trainer for only $19. Think of what you can accomplish during that month. Go to tryfuture.co/hoops to get started. The link is also below in the description. Or you can use my QR code on the screen here. Kendrick Nunn. Remember back in 2019, the start of that pandemic season? Kendrick Nunn, an undrafted rookie, was going off in the first few months of that season, and he was legitimately a contender for Rookie of the Year. Ultimately, he'd finish in second, behind Ja Morant. That year, the Miami Heat made a spectacular, improbable run to the finals during Nunn's rookie season. Despite appearing and starting in 67 regular season games, Nunn got benched during that entire playoff run. He didn't start a single game, and his minutes nearly got cut in half, as the Heat favored the more experienced Goran Dragic. I remember there were fans wondering why he wasn't playing. In fact, there was a report around that time that stated he had conditioning issues and was not up to game speed yet. Nunn was interviewed about this and responded with, "My game speed is always up-tempo and ready to play. My conditioning level is fine. I'm definitely ready." Though later on, the Heat refuted this report and just said it was a rotational and matchup issue that forced Nunn to the bench. It's understandable. One major issue was the Heat tried to play him as a point guard, but he wasn't a true point guard, because he had issues running the offense and he really didn't know how to do that. He was a small shooting guard, and it's always a hit or miss with these guys. As an undersized shooting guard, he struggles to score against length, and even though the Heat defeated the Bucks and Celtics in that playoffs, Nunn was a complete non-factor and barely played. They were successful without him. Either way, it worked out because the Heat did in fact reach the finals, and he did get more minutes in the finals. Fast forward a year later, and Nunn had another decent season, but then he had a complication with his knee that forced him to miss his entire third season. It was initially diagnosed as a simple bone bruise, but he had multiple setbacks and did not play a single game in his first season in Los Angeles. And when he came back, that quickness and speed was just no longer there. When he got benched during that 2020 playoff run in Miami, it was a sign of things to come. As mentioned, Nunn is a 6'2" shooting guard, undersized with short arms, and has trouble defending anyone at his position. And against defenses with longer players, he struggles. This compounded with the knee problems that sapped his agility, it caused him to drop off just as quickly as he got there. His first couple seasons in Miami was more akin to a team giving him a chance to see what he can do, and he's had some fantastic games. Even after a trade to the Wizards, he doesn't get much playing time unless they're trying to tank. Even on a team like the Wizards, there's no place for him in the rotation. And considering he came into the NBA late, teams don't look at him as a prospect anymore. So the days of him getting 30 minutes a game are gone. Andre Drummond. It wasn't too long ago when Drummond was leading the league in rebounds with like an absurd 15 to 16 boards a game. In fact, in late 2021, he became the second youngest player in history to grab 9,000 total rebounds, only behind Moses Malone. It's a testament not just to his rebounding prowess, but also to his durability. Not just that, but he was grabbing a lot of steals, some blocks, and even became a capable passer as the years went by. Some years, he was grabbing over 5 offensive rebounds a game. The dude was a 2-time All-Star, a stat-stuffing box score monster. Like, you would think he's a superstar just by looking at his stats. However, when anyone actually watches him play, you can tell he's one of those guys who, his numbers look a lot better than the eye test. Drummond's offensive game is a pain to watch. The only way he scores is off of putbacks or lobs. Anywhere outside of 5 feet, he has no game whatsoever. Plus, he's a historically bad free throw shooter. I'm not even talking about Shaq levels of bad. Drummond's even worse. He's had multiple seasons of shooting like 35 to 38% from the foul line. This makes him an easy target during the end of games, hence why teams would purposely foul him and he'd have to get benched. Even though he puts up a high number of steals and blocks, his positional defense is subpar. There's a reason he was always in Pistons trade rumors for almost his entire time there. The organization never viewed him as a primary piece to build around due to his limits on offense and his mediocre defense. In 2020, Drummond played 33 minutes a game and led the league in rebounds with over 15 per game, the 4th time in his career where he led the league in rebounds. In 2023, he plays 13 minutes a game and warms the bench for the Chicago Bulls. In that time frame, since leaving Detroit, Drummond played for 5 different teams in 4 seasons. Teams started to look past his gaudy stats and realized he's not as impactful as his numbers look. With the way the NBA is heading, if you're a big man, you gotta be a great finisher in the pick and roll. You could maybe learn to shoot threes. You need to be attentive and patrol the paint to contest shots. You need to be quick and agile enough to not get abused by opposing guards in a pick and roll. You need to be able to keep up with players in a switch. These are the traits that NBA teams are looking for in big men. And unfortunately, Drummond lacks those traits. That's why his skill set has become less and less valuable, and that's why he vanished from the spotlight. Montrezl Harrell. In the 2019-20 season, Harrell won 6th Man of the Year, and up until now, that's still the best season of his career. He has yet to match it. He averaged a career high in points and was the 3rd leading scorer on a Clippers team that was poised to make the finals, if they didn't blow a 3-1 series lead. Despite his successful season, he was very underutilized in the playoffs. Doc Rivers got a lot of blame for not playing him. People legitimately thought he hated Harrell, so he didn't give him enough minutes. In the playoffs, he nearly played 10 fewer minutes a game compared to the regular season. But it wasn't just Doc Rivers though. It was clear the organization did not value him nearly enough, as they let him walk and join the Lakers for a surprisingly low 2 years $19 million deal. Over the next few seasons though, his playing time has steadily decreased, and he got traded multiple times and joined like 4 different teams in 3 seasons. While he still played his role, being a hyper-energetic 6th man who thrived off his own energy, he never expanded beyond that. Defensively, he was one of the worst defenders in the league. Even in his best season on the Clippers, his defensive real plus-minus of .03 put him 43rd among all centers in the league. Considering that your center is usually the most important part of a team's defense, this made Harrell get benched or traded quite frequently. He's one of those guys who, maybe he's just good enough offensively to make up for his lack of defense, but his coaches don't trust him enough in the playoffs to give him more minutes. In Philly, he's once again playing under Doc Rivers, and once again, his minutes are cut. He's playing the fewest minutes per game since his rookie season. I'm not sure what to think of this, honestly. Did he drop off this badly that he's unplayable now? Or does Doc just not like him? I'm sure if given the chance, he can still be that 6th man dynamo he once was. Kemba Walker. From 4 consecutive All-Star appearances to not even being in the NBA anymore, Kemba Walker was once regarded as one of the NBA's best point guards. In some years, he was close to being a top 5 point guard in the league. Even when the Celtics replaced Kyrie with Kemba, they didn't skip a beat. Kemba still played very well and once again was named an All-Star, and helped the Celtics reach the Eastern Conference Finals. But then, fast forward a few months later and everything came to a screeching halt. In October of 2020, Kemba got a stem cell injection into his left knee. He's had some knee soreness before, but nobody thought much of it, and it was expected he'd make a full recovery. Sadly, he did not. The pain in his left knee lingered years after. You can pinpoint this moment, this knee surgery, as the exact moment his career went downhill. By the time he got traded to the Knicks, that's when everyone realized Kemba was done. Still, after getting waived by Dallas, he's still a free agent? Nobody picked him up? I'm surprised. I feel like we should have seen some contending team sign him to a minimum deal. The worst case scenario is he doesn't play. The best case? Maybe he can spontaneously have a few good games. There must be something severely wrong with his knees for teams to not even look at him. Blake Griffin. Similar to Kemba, the lone reason his All-Star career has vanished is due to knee problems. In the 2018-19 season, Blake had a comeback year, leading the Pistons to the playoffs and having arguably the best individual season of his life. That year, he proved he can lead a team by himself without Chris Paul. However, just as quickly as he got back on track, he fell off immediately in the season after. We thought Blake has returned, but it was only temporary. It actually started towards the end of the 2019 season. Griffin only played in 2 playoff games due to severe soreness in his knee. Then, in early 2020, he got surgery on his left knee. It would be the second time he got surgery on this knee, and whenever that happens, multiple surgeries on a single knee, most people knew he won't be the same player ever again, especially with his injury history. Blake went from being the star of a franchise to a bench warmer on the Celtics who's having fun trolling other players. I guess it's better than being out of the league. Anyway, that's all folks. Those were 5 more former NBA studs who saw their careers vanish. Let me know your thoughts if you can think of any others in the comment section. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and of course, as always, I'll see you next time. Peace.